Ako urong dito, and I said I would stake my honor, my life, and even the presidency.
Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps. Happy Monday. Let's now have Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo.
Good morning, gentlemen and beautiful ladies.
Secretary, do you have any statement or question?
No.
Okay, questions.
Questions,
MPC questions. Ready na si Secretary. Joseph? Microphone. Go. Question. MPC, Christine? Or Ace? Ace muna. Ace Romero.
Secretary, any comment
Kaya pa.
any comment on Joma Season's claim that the China exploration deal or development deal is a form of treason?
Maybe he has not read the agreement signed. It's just an agreement to agree on certain things. There is nothing there that will be a basis for any allegation of treason. Even the critics say there's nothing there.
Follow-up. We have follow-up. Chonayu. Microphone.
Sir, sabi niyo yung MOU is not legally binding and the Philippines can still walk away from the agreement. Now, if the Philippines if nag-decide to leave the agreement, can China sue the Philippines? Can we be held liable?
First, the agreement is just an agreement to agree. So it's just a framework, as correctly stated by Secretary of Foreign Affairs. It will be the basis of negotiations, talking points, and then after that, there will be an agreement between the two countries. It will start from those assigned to initially make some talks, then it will reach another level until it reaches Secretary Locsin. That's the time to say anything, whether for or against any agreement.
Questions? Follow-up? May follow-up? Other issues, si Rose Novenario.
Henry, tulog pa ako nun.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, yung MO32 ni Presidente Duterte, isa ba itong hakbang para palakasin yung counter-insurgency program ng administrasyon?
Hindi lang counter.
Considering, sir, na yung mga areas na pinadagdagan niya ng tropa, sinasabing malakas daw po ang impluensya rin ng NPA.
Not malakas ang impluensya. Maraming incidents of terrorism, of ambushes, of killings. Kaya kailangan talagang mag-deploy ng mga troops doon.
So, hindi po ito pagpapalakas ng counter-insurgency program?
Kasama na siguro yun. Anything that will strengthen any counter-communist program will always be undertaken by the government. And for that matter, any acts against this government coming from whatever source.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Follow-up. Joyce?
Sir, in relation na lang din dun sa tanong ni Ms. Rose, si Bayan muna Chairman Nery Colmenares expressed concern sa timing daw po ng Memo 32 given na malapit na yung election. And he said in an interview, we warn President Duterte not to use these repressive powers against the people and opposition candidates in the coming campaign period. Ano po ang reaction natin?
I think he has not read the memorandum. The memorandum precisely and expressly says that we should respect the rights of the individual. That Memorandum 32 was done pursuant to the constitutional duty of the President to protect and to serve the people. There were a series of acts committed against civilians against soldiers and policemen in those areas, and therefore there is a need to deploy troops as well as PNP forces in that area to secure the people for its own safety and peace of the area.
So this has nothing to do with the upcoming elections.
No. And even if it has anything to do with that, the more Mr. Colmenares should be happy about that, because you will be securing the area during election time.
Okay, Henry Uri?
Senator Panfilo Lacson also has this statement, Secretary. Bakit kailangan pa ng MO number 32 kung hindi naman kailangan yon? Baka naman meron itong pupuntahan na may mga lugar na may plano yung Malacanang na kung hindi magdeklara ng martial law ay mag-suspend ng writ of habeas corpus. If there's no need for it, I suppose Malacanang has a plan. If not to declare martial law, probably suspend the writ of habeas corpus. May plano bang isuspend yung writ of habeas corpus, Secretary?
Well, we repeatedly said, if there is any intention, then that would have been declared, but there is none. Now, with respect to why there is a need, as we have repeatedly said, there is a need for that because those areas need to be secured.
Matindi na ho ba yung insurgency and gulo doon sa mga lugar? Kaya mismong ang Pangulo na ho ang nag-declare dito.
No, not necessarily na malakas, no. Given na maraming ang acts of, in fact, we enumerated that. Have we given copies, Chris, sa kanila? We have a enumeration of incidents, of killings, of ambushes, of destruction of properties in those areas. That is why there is a need for that.
This is just a preemptive move of the Malacanang.
Not only a preemptive, it's at the same time a reaction to what is happening there.
All right, thank you.
May follow up? RJ, follow up? Ina,
Just a quick one on that. I think the point of Senator Lacson is that there's issuing an MO to order the deployment of the military is not necessary. Kumbaga, pwede pong orderin na lang ng presidente yung AFP to
Maybe if
send
he were
more
the
troops.
president, it's not necessary for him. The problem is not the president, and the president feels that there is a need for that.
Why the need for a formal
Of course,
MO,
you
sir?
have to direct your forces. You cannot just do that orally, and what areas they're going to. You need to reduce that into writing, so that there will be guidance to all of them, where they will have to go, and what acts they should perform, and acts that they should not do. In other words, that's transparency,
may follow up?
which they're always complaining about, that sometimes the government does not do.
MPC, follow up? Other issue? Chona muna, and then RJ.
Sir, what's the order of the President sa bagong harassment incident sa Panatag Shoal?
There is, there is an investigation. I made a statement on that already when I was interviewed. First, we have to validate. We have to validate what happened there. Are you referring to that incident where the media man? Yes. Because I have seen the video. It was shown to me. First, I said, we have to validate whether or not, because according to that Coast Guard, it was prohibited. I said, is it a policy of China to prohibit media men from going there or not? We don't know that yet. So that's why I told them, you have to give us a letter complaint expressing your concern so that we can act appropriately. We will refer your complaint to the DFA, and DFA will write the government of China whether or not there is such a policy. Because I was asking them, why in the first place did you go there? They said, we had to interview the fishermen because the last time we interviewed them, they were saying that their fishes were being confiscated, or half of the caught fish. And I was asking them, were they able to interview them? Yeah, yes. Oh, and what did they say? They said, hindi na sir. Oh, okay pala. Okay na pala ngayon. Kung dati kino-confiscate, ngayon hindi na. So, pabor pala sa atin.
Sir, granted.
Because I heard also the Coast Guard saying, it's prohibited for you to interview, but you're welcome for fishing activity. And interviewing is not a fishing activity.
Sir, granted na yun yung policy ng China na they will not allow to conduct an interview. Pwede ba yun?
What do you mean pwede? Yun ang policy. Kung yan ang policy nila, that's precisely why we have this so-called mechanism for negotiation. O, hindi sabihin, bakit naman kontra kayo? Pabor nga sa yung sinasabi ng mga fishermen That's in your favor because hindi na pala kayo nagko-confiscate. Hindi nyo na hinaharas. O, di ba? Hindi sabihin natin, ba't nyo pinagbabawalan when it's in your favor?
Pero,
Ang problema kasi, they feel that they own that place So they're showing that they own it by making prohibitions on certain acts.
so sir, why the need to ask China if there's such policy considering na this is within our territory?
Yun nga ang problema there are claims from different countries. Kaya nga merong tayong tinatawag na Code of Conduct na idadrop ng mga ASEAN countries para malaman exactly ano bang gusto mo to avoid conflict. That's precisely why the President has been saying, let's exercise self-restraint kasi tayong lahat tatamaan dito pag nagkagulo tayo.
Henry.
Secretary, follow-up lang doon kay Chona. So if yung mga claimant ho ay i-impose ng kanilang sariling polisiya, although disputed pa yung territory, pwede na nilang gawin yon na
Hindi magkakagulo sila. Yun na nga sinasabi ni Presidente, let's have self-restraint. First, gumawa tayo ng Code of Conduct. Kasi kailangan talagang may free navigation at yung overflight. Kailangan maayos yun. International waters yun Pabor naman sa lahat na kailangan na daraan doon ng lahat ng bansa for purposes of trade.
But don't we feel that we own that land also, that island?
Hindi ba yung arbitral ruling nga sa atin na yun And that's part of international law already. Wala na makakakuha sa atin. Kaya lang, meanwhile, ayaw nga irespeto nung isa Kaya dinadaan nga natin teka, pag-usapan muna natin. Let's talk.
Pero Secretary, hindi ba medyo masyadong marahas yung kanilang tao natin yung Pilipino yun sa teritoryo natin ginagawa. So, anong nararamdaman ng gobyerno rito?
That's why I said, first, imbestigahan muna natin kung totoong may policy. Kung may policy at yung harassment parang kasi even the GMA 7 were saying na maganda yung nakita ko naman, hindi naman sila smiling pa nga parang sinabi sa we're telling you that it's prohibited here but it's welcome if it's a fishing activity. So, parang hindi naman sila but nevertheless, hindi tayo papayag siyempre na ihaharas ang ating mga kapwa Pilipino. Kaya kung totoo man yung policy niya, di bahala na si Secretary Locsin. That's his turf.
Alright. So hindi papayag. Yun ang statement.
Tayo papayag na hinaharas tayo kahit saang lugar. Kaya sa bansa natin o sa bansa nila.
Thank you, Secretary.
May follow-up? Other issue? RJ? Microphone? Henry, paabot?
Sir, on the draft peace agreement na hinihingi ni Pangulo kay NDFP Joma Season, sir, have you officially relayed this to the NDFP?
Which one?
The draft agreement on peace.
Siguro nakarating na. May response na nga si Joma Season, di ba? So, we don't have to officially tell them. May response na siya. Ibig sabihin, alam niya na.
Over the weekend, sir, he said he will reject it.
Well, that's their call. As we said, this government is open to peace talks. It's about time we end this internism. It's conflict within Filipinos. And the president doesn't like bloodshed being shed. For the last 50 years, we've been doing that. It's about time. Kaya open siya. Kaya kahit ilang beses niya na sinabi na ayaw niya na, nagkakaroon pa rin siya ng change of heart. O sige, sige. Pero ang problema, they've been violating the provisions of the conditions for peace talks. Yun ang ayaw niya. That is why, kaya nga hindi ba sabi natin noon we will have an informal talks muna. Ang problema, natakot naman sila ma-aresto. Sinasabi naman natin na misplaced ang apprehension kasi wala naman aresto. How can you talk pag inaresto ka?
So they are rejecting the demand of the president. So what's next for the
No,
government?
it's their call. Kung ayaw nila diwag, sabi nga ni Presidente, gusto yun ng gera, hindi gera.
So Guerra is next.
Hindi, ang sinasabi ni Presidente, nasa sa inyo yan. Kung gusto nyo, edi let's sit down. But we have to observe conditions preparatory to having peace talks. Huwag na natin ulitin yung kikipag-usap kayo sa amin sa lamesa tapos pinapatay niyo yung mga tao namin. Hindi pa pwede. Hindi kami papayag doon.
Are you?
In other words, they have to be sincere.
So are
And
you?
we feel na hindi sila sincere at the time.
Are you currently communicating with them for another meeting?
Wala pa since the last time.
All right. Thank you.
The last communication is we told them na your apprehension for an arrest is misplaced.
Thank you.
MPC question, Pia Gutierrez.
Hi, sir. Sir,
Yes.
regarding kay Attorney Falcone Villar, siya po ba yung
Yes.
binabanggit ni Presidente dun sa Papua New Guinea na tatanggalin niya because he apparently lied to the President?
Hindi ko alam kung yung lying. Hindi ko alam paano nga. Basta ang alam ko, kaya siya tinanggal because of corruption. There was a complaint, there was a sworn statement, and that then pinaimbestigan ni Presidente, and there was a credible basis na validate yung complaint.
Sir, yung complaint galing po saan? And does it have anything to do with the
Parang
rehabilitation
it
of
came
Marawi?
from someone representing a company na merong receivables from HUDCC. So much millions. Hindi yata nila nakokolekta. And then according to that sworn statement, hinihingan siya para ma-release. Twice inulit sa kanya. But the affiant refused. And so instead of giving, nag-execute siya ng affidavit. Nagreklamo siya.
Si Attorney Villar, sir, hinihingan niya yung representative ng company.
Come again?
Yun
Hindi,
din sa
siya
kanya.
mismo. Siya mismo ang humingi.
Villar. Si
Siya
Attorney.
mismo ang humingi. Yeah.
Sir,
Siya mismo.
the project has something to do with the rehabilitation of Marawi?
Hindi yata. Parang basta receivables. Hindi ko na ano masyado yung... Basta may receivables na sinisingil sa HUDCC.
So, involving what project, sir?
Hindi ko na tatanda ko ng project yan.
Was there an investigation, sir?
Pinaimbestigan ni Presidente kung totoo yung complaint. Na-validate, kaya tinanggal siya.
Kasi, sir, dun sa parang statement na pinadala ni Attorney Villar sa media, sinabi na parang sinabotahe lang siya or siniraan.
Hindi totoo. I saw the sworn complaint.
Sir, on another topic, what does the president have to say regarding yung CHED's policy to remove Filipino as a
Filipino what?
required subject in college?
Philippine what?
Filipino, sir.
Filipino?
Apo.
Tinatanggal nilang CHED.
Tinatanggal ng CHED as a required subject in college, sir, ang Filipino.
Wala pang, I have not heard the President say anything about it. We will be having a cabinet meeting. I think the CHED secretary will be, or the CHED head will be raising that. And perhaps it will be a basis for discussion in the cabinet.
Sir, going back kay Attorney Villar, do you know anong company po ang involved?
Hindi ko, I forgot. I'll give it to you. I'll look at the affidavit.
Okay, Ace, follow up.
Don Sec. So will charges be filed against the former HUDC official?
The affiant will be the one to file the charges. Siyempre, siya ang hiningan eh.
Okay. So hindi involved yung sa government kasi 'di ba corruption yun. So will there be cases dun perhaps sa
Oh, there will be,
ombudsman?
I'm sure there will be a case filed, but you need witnesses, di ba? So before DOJ can file even a case, you need these witnesses.
But the government will support the filing
Oh,
of such
definitely,
cases.
we will.
Okay. What
That's the
does
policy of
this
the government.
against corruption?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Follow up, Jonah.
Sir, follow-up lang doon kay Ace. Sa dami ng sinibak ni Presidente, ilan na ba doon ang kinasuhan ng government?
I have, wala akong listahan, but we can ask DOJ. It's the
Okay.
DOJ's job.
MPC questions? Ina.
Sir, I'm not sure if nakarating na sa inyo, but there's a report with photos of a group of Chinese tourists here in Manila. They're going around wearing identical shirts with a caption in Chinese saying that they want to have memory in the South China Sea. Some are interpreting this as their way of, kumbaga, not recognizing sovereignty. Instead of referring to the Philippines, they're saying South China Sea. We'd just like to get your reaction to that. What do you think of
No.
these?
We have not, this is the first time I've heard of that. Then we have to investigate exactly why they're wearing that shirts. Who are they? Where are they coming from? Exactly what is their message, either to us or to the government of China, whatever. We have to know.
Pia.
Pero sir, based on our laws, yung mga ganyan pong pagsusuot ng mga ganyang statements, is that allowed for tourists?
Ano ba sinasabi? Anong nakalagay sa t-shirt?
They want to have a memory of the South China,
Parang,
in South China Sea.
parang wala namang sense yung sinasabi nila. I don't even
Baka sir, sa
understand.
translation kasi parang,
I don't even understand what they're saying.
but people are interpreting it as a political message.
Hindi natin alam pa kung political yun eh. It would be different kung masyadong klaro na binabanatan tayo. Di ba?
But whether or not it is, sir, are tourists or foreigners in the Philippines allowed to wear shirts with a political
kung mga
message?
innocent statements lang naman, wala. I don't think there is anything wrong with that.
Sir, with what you understand, you think it's a political, it's an innocent message.
I
and
don't
not a
even
political
understand what
message.
that statement is. We don't even know whether it's political or not. That's why I said we have to investigate. Ano ba yan? Ano exactly meaning niyan? Anong gusto niyong ipalabas? And then we will act accordingly.
Okay, Joseph?
Walking flags. All right, sir. Do you have a copy of the MOU with?
We'll
with
give
now?
you.
You have it now, sir.
Hindi.
wala.
Yung listahan lang.
Sir, how far can we go with the exploration with China? Because right now we understand this is just a framework to agree, no? But when we come to that point after 12 months, how far should we go? Meaning, ano ba yung inclusions nito? Only territories in the Philippines or also maybe territories that may be near China?
Yan ang pag-uusapan.
But in position natin, sir, would be if this is a negotiation, no, between two countries, how far are we willing to give?
Ang palaging posisyon natin is this beneficial to us? Is this constitutionally allowable? Yun ang palaging tanong. We cannot go beyond that.
You mentioned, sir, constitutionally allowed. Sir, some are saying that sharing our exclusive economic zone is an unconstitutional act.
No. Bakit
Yes,
naman?
why, sir?
Bakit nga ba? Why are they saying it's unconstitutional?
Because it's exclusive and we shouldn't be sharing it to another country.
Meron ng sinasabi sa Constitution na pwede tayong enter into contracts with respect to the exploration
Enter
ng
into
natural
contracts.
resources.
Sa parang,
Basta provided yung constitutional limitation of ownership 60-40 kailangan Pilipino.
and that's our
Importante
limitation. No?
Huh?
That's our limitation po.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So with regard to Panatag, you mentioned that there is an investigation into the incident by which agency?
Of course, DFA. That's
DFA?
the turf
Sin-
of the DFA.
That involves what, sir? Asking China about the policy?
First, what happened there, exactly what happened there. Second, what is the policy of the China?
Sir, do we find it objectionable that they are exercising maybe some what appears to be right over that area that belongs to our EEZ?
Well, anything that is violative of our rights as a nation, anything that violates the rights of our citizens, we will always find it objectionable.
This is a violation, sir.
Which one?
This action by China.
Well, we don't know it yet nga eh. Whether, baka naman yung Coast Guard lang yun. Kasarili niya lang na banat yun. Diba?
What do you mean, sir?
Because I asked the ambassador of China, sabi ko, is that the policy of yours? Sabi niya, I do not know. DFA should, kumbaga, we have to make formal communication also. After we receive also formal complaint. Eh, wala pa tayong nare-receive eh. That was precisely my advice to GMA7 correspondents. Sulatan nyo kami para may basis naman kami.
Alright, sir, you mentioned you talked to Ambassador Xiao.
No, nag-text lang ako. Sabi ko, kasi pinoward ko yung tanong ng media eh.
Okay.
Pinoward ko sa kanya eh.
Okay.
Any comment?
And what did he say?
Ay sabi niya, I will refer you to the, yun nga, yung process.
What process,
On
sir?
process. You have a complaint, you have to receive, parang ganun. General naman yung kanyang sagot.
Sir, we're not going, wala pa, no? Kasi we're still determining whether
Yeah.
there's a policy. And that
Yes.
will determine whether we will file a protest or not, yes?
Yes.
As a government, as a people. No? Okay, sir, last na lang. Si Chinese President Xi wrote the president a letter. Tama?
So I read, yes. I read it.
Okay. I mean the letter from the website.
Yeah, nabasa ko sa dyaryo.
What was the president's...
I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him.
Mhm.
But I'll see him tomorrow. We'll see him tomorrow. So I'll ask his reaction.
Ate, konti pa.
O sige, may tanong, Joyce o China pa. Follow up. O sige.
Somewhat related, sir.
Yes.
With regard to the Supreme Court CJ-ship, I think last Friday...
Supreme Court what?
CJ.
Chief Justice ship.
Yes.
Okay. The palace has received a short list of maybe 5 AJs,
Hindi ko
including...
pa alam kung they have already submitted kasi parang biyernes lang yata nangyari yun.
Sir, confirmed na po that the president, the OP has already
Received. Oh, so
yes.
anong what's the question now?
Before, sir, this is the premise of the question. Before si Presidente, when he appointed Justice De Castro,
Yeah.
he said that he's going to follow seniority henceforth with the Justice Department and then the judiciary and the military. Now that AJ Carpio is in the list of nominees and he appears to be the most senior in the Supreme Court, do you think that it's a foregone conclusion that AJ Carpio will be appointed based on what the
Not
president said?
necessarily. Siguro all things being equal, paano pag hindi equal? It's the president's call. And that the prerogative lies on him by the Constitution. It's discretionary.
Is it a factor, sir, Justice Carpio's position on the West Philippine Sea? Will it be a factor because they're kind of different, no, on that issue?
The presidents, if you will look at the history of the president, when he appointed Harry Roque as spokesperson, I remember during the campaign, he was against the president. He was supporting another candidate. And yet the president appointed him and became a member of the cabinet. Also, those members of the cabinet coming from the left, they were attacking the president, and yet they were appointed. So I don't think you can derive a conclusion that just because someone is a critic of the administration, he cannot be appointed.
All right, sir, thank you.
Okay, last question na tayo. Joyce?
Sir, last two. Sir, youth groups are opposed to the president's plan to revive ROTC as a mandatory subject sa senior high school. And they said that, these students said that it will teach, the organization said that this will teach students brutality, corruption, and impunity. and the administration does not have an ounce of moral ascendancy to teach to the youth about respect for human rights. Ano pong
Ay,
masasabi?
saan magaling yung, baka naman isang grupo lang yan. There are thousands of students all over the country. Second, the president wants ROTC revived because of the discipline, the ideals of being a nationalist, and moreover, we have to prepare ourselves. Tayo lang yata ang bansang hindi preparado in the event of any war. Kami nag-ROTC and I learned a lot sa ROTC. I think the students will learn a lot from having a training.
Sir, kailan namin ina-expect yung EO to be out? The
No,
presidency?
the position of the president is the House, the Congress, should pass a law. And I think there are already many House backers
So wala pong EO na ilalabas si President.
because it's a law. So it has to be amended.
Sir, last question na lang from me. Representative Miro Kimbo said in a radio interview that we should lift the excise on fuel, hindi lang po basta suspension ng dagdag na excise tax next year, so that because yun nga daw po, diesel and kerosene excise fuels adversely affected the poor. Possible po ba, sir, na magdesisyon si President to entirely rescind fuel taxes?
I think Congressman Miro should first refer his concern to the economic managers. And the economic managers will study and evaluate his recommendation and would accordingly make any recommendation to the president.
Okay, no more. MPC? Okay, thank you, Presidential Spokesperson.
Thank you.
Salvador Panelo. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.